Hey, everybody. Are we on? Are we on? Are we on?
It said going
It
live.
says 7, 8 seconds in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to GameHounds podcast. We are still doing our early prepping before we start the official show, but we don't have much. Gosh, we have a lot of news to talk about this week.
Yeah, not many games. We've all been playing the same thing.
Right, pretty much. But yeah, there are some weeks that it's busier than others. This is like a 9 out of 10 on the category of busy weeks. It's not. There's a few really, really big stories and then a lot of little stories. Normally, if you get like a big story week, it's like one big story that dominates everything. This is a lot of medium stories, medium to large stories dominating. So it's just, yeah, we spent a lot. Hey, we got Bitters in the chat room. Hello, my son. Welcome back. Just as a reminder, our website, gamehounds.net, if you ever want to find out what's going on. Yeah, it's still broken. I'm working on it. It's hard to work.
Go to the website.
It's hard to work and
broken,
play.
but don't worry.
Don't worry. It's fine. It works mostly.
Yeah.
Of course,
I
Patreon.
see the hair has completely transformed.
I told you I was dyeing it purple.
Mm-hmm.
I did. So nice thing about going gray is you don't have to like bleach your hair because it's so mostly white anyway. You just purple over it and it
natural.
shows up.
Yeah.
It shows up great. This was without dyeing, without bleaching. So anytime you want to go purple, let me know.
What if I want fuchsia?
I can do fuchsia.
What if I want orange?
I can do orange. And this will be out. This will be gone in like a couple of weeks. It's not permanent.
Yeah. How's Buddy doing?
Buddy is perfectly fine. Like nothing ever happened.
It just passed.
I'm convinced it was the new treats that I gave him. And to catch you back up, my dog started not being able to breathe through his nose in the middle of the night. And not the middle of the night. We were playing games when that happened. We were playing, what were we playing? We were playing Outriders. And all of a sudden he woke up.
Extraction. Yeah, with Chris.
Oh, no, sorry, Extraction. That's what I meant, not Outriders. And all of a sudden, Buddy just stood up and couldn't breathe through his nose. And it was a harrowing weekend, but by Monday, it was gone, and he has not had another episode of that. And that day, I had used a whole brand new kind of botanical. I didn't get it because it was botanical. I got it because it was the cheapest. It was the least expensive for like per ounce on Amazon for treats. And that wasn't like Purina. I don't feed supermarket brands to my animals for exactly this reason. These things happen. Mm-hmm. And it's more likely that they will happen with a store brand. But as soon as I opened them, I'm like, wow, these things are really stinky. And of course, the dogs were like, holy crap, those smell amazing. I want them all. I will do anything. I'm like, ooh, I'm good with these. And then I think that something in there, one of the botanicals that they put into it, Buddy did not get along with.
Yeah, AC Ray has a point. Leave a bad review.
I did.
Make a note of that. Okay.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did. On Amazon, absolutely. And I left an honest review. I just outlined, here's the facts. The dogs were with me, like by my side, in my presence, 24/7 from Friday on. And on Saturday, they had a massive thing. Nothing went in their mouths that I didn't know about. The only thing that was different were these treats, and these treats were given about 4.5 hours before he had an experience, and it cleared up over the weekend, the rest of the weekend. So you can make your decisions of what the reason was, but my reason the only thing I could see possible that this was is the treats.
Yeah. Something in
there. Your mileage might vary because everybody loves
reaction.
A lot of people love these treats. They're right. Like your dogs will eat off their own fingers to get to those treats. Like, you tell them anything you tell them to do, they will like, I will fucking do it. Just give me another hit of that crack. Mia, the puppy, nuts, absolutely nuts, loses her mind.
And she was okay with the treats.
Was fine with the treats.
Yeah, it's just Buddy, some allergy. Buddy's
Some
got
allergy on
something.
Buddy. Your mileage, as I ended my review, your mileage may vary. So, but Buddy's fine. What
Good,
else
good
is
to know.
nothing else interesting. I'm a little hungover.
Okay.
Why?
No.
I wanted you to play games last night. You were busy.
I was doing a Mother's Day
You're
thing.
doing Mother's Day thing. Chris is in Lima. He's in Peru.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
nothing else to do but watch K-drama and drink.
Okay. That sounds like a good evening.
Yeah.
But I will say one update. I got the gaming PC, not the gaming PC, the gaming laptop.
Yes, you did.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I actually downloaded Game Pass and started playing Tunic from where I had left off on the console. Like
Really?
it still blows my mind the way the cloud save works so seamlessly. But so I want to try is I'll download Extraction to it to see how that does, because I can.
Are you playing with a controller on the PC?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can connect an Xbox controller to it, and like it's a relatively high end gaming laptop, so I imagine it basically replaces the Xbox. It becomes a portable Xbox.
I'm starting to wonder if my big laptop will be able to do that too, because now you're making me a PC gamer. Fuck you guys.
So I was looking at it like, oh wait, the computer, this laptop's fast enough that it can open Steam in under 10 minutes. Because now whenever I open Steam, it's like checking for updates, and it stays like that for a solid 10 minutes before anything happens. But this one, checking for updates, open Steam. I'm like, oh shit, I can access this whole storefront again. Maybe I should buy something. No, don't.
Wait.
Yeah, hold
wait
off.
for that. Hold off. Although, were you there for the Steam roguelike and roguelite sale?
Yeah, but I also didn't want to get any of those.
Okay.
So yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see how that works, because I still want the Xbox for the TV, but in times that I can't use the TV, I've got this laptop.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nice. Well-
AC Ray says you'll either play Warframe on PC or with crossplay.
All I
he has
have to do is wait. I'm not. I'm not even going to comment on that. Dignify that with a comment. So, shall we start the show so we can actually start talking about stuff?
Yeah.
All righty, dighty. What do I need to do? I know I started doing it and then I stopped doing it. I don't remember where I was. Okay. Check. We've got sound forms for me. Nick.
Test. Hello.
Got you. Cool. We can start the show.
Cool.
Oh, waveforms. That was the word I was looking for. We are looking for essential show tracks. We are looking for the GameHounds intro.
We have waves. It's like the ocean.
And these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Mike's hot. Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 638. We're recording this on Sunday, May 8th, 2022. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola. How you doing, Nick?
I'm good. Everyone say Happy Mother's Day to your mothers.
Yes.
Yeah. I was doing that. I did that yesterday so that I could dedicate today to the podcast.
I noticed that when I asked you about if you were available to game last night and you said you're hanging out with your mother. I thought it's Saturday. And then it hit me. Oh, it's Saturday. That's why he's with his mom, so he can do this show. I was like, good for you, Nick.
Yeah, see,
Thank you.
I'm dedicated to the show.
Right.
GameHounds for life.
Oh, shit. Jesus Christ. Inappropriate, Nick. I'm calling you on that one. And AC Ray says, and you better do it. It's Mother's Day. True. So happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. So, what else is new? What's else going on with you? Anything? My life is boring. You can't see this on the audio show. I have purple hair. This is not going to be for long.
Oh, yeah.
But if you want to check out my purple hair, you can go. We record this show live, but it is on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube left over afterwards. So you can go to the YouTube page under GameHounds Vids, or the Facebook page and the Twitch page, which is the GameHounds, and you can see my purple hair, and it is very purple.
Yeah.
I did not think it was going to turn out quite this purple, but as I said earlier, when you have gray hair, it doesn't come out a little purple. It comes out a lot purple. So.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I think if I'm going to do it again, I'm going to do blue. I'm not going to do purple. Purple's
Okay.
not my color. Sorry. Just the way it is.
Not royalty. You're not royal enough for purple.
Not really. Yeah.
Not high class enough. It's
Yeah.
it's for the kings and the queens.
It is
and-
kind of royal purple, isn't it? I mean, it kind of looks different colors on the screen, but it is pretty royal purple. AC Wraith. AC Wraith says she's a great bitch now, so she doesn't need to change her initials. Yeah, the ginger bitch went great bitch. Yeah, AC Wraith, anytime you want me to dye your hair colors, I will happily fly. I would literally fly to New York to dye someone's hair purple. I love doing this so much. So, what games you got going?
I've been playing all the same things. More of Elden Ring, and for once this week I do not have any additional hot takes on it. I do not have any further thought to expand upon.
Oh my
I
god!
don't have any.
Can we make this
fleshed out
under
opinion.
2 minutes of you talking about Elden Ring?
I
I don't think you could do that.
I could go into detail about the places I've seen.
No,
No,
please don't. Please don't.
You don't want to hear about my adventures in the Altus Plateau?
No.
Okay, fine.
Any other games?
Yes, I have also been playing more Tunic,
Mm-hmm.
which has continually. That game is kind of a Soul Zelda Fez like, and the Fez aspect to it, the mystery of the mechanics and what things do, has been slowly unraveling as I've played through in a really, really cool way. I've realized that I can interact with these statues in a way that I wasn't expecting. Then that led me to interacting with these little pads in a way I wasn't expecting. And they took me to new locations and revealed that game is a lot bigger than I thought it was. Every time I collect a new page from the instruction manual and it shows like a new section, a new map of an area, I realize I haven't seen this. And so there's a lot of that game that I just haven't seen. And it's fun to realize that there are still mysteries in there to be uncovered.
Did
other
you
than that,
talk
just-
about? Talk about on the, since we're already started the audio stream. You got your gaming PC. Did we already talk about this? We talked about it on the video stream, not the audio stream.
Yeah, we haven't done it. Yeah, not the live. I got a gaming laptop because I've been wanting to get rid of my desktop computer because I want to get rid of my desk because it's big and takes up a lot of room. So I decided to get a gaming laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Since most of what I interact with is like, yeah, I'll do this podcast from the PC and then I'll type stuff on it. But that's it. Like, I don't do much PC gaming. Well, my criteria for getting a laptop is that I wanted it to be better than my work laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out my work laptop is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of forced me to look at mid-high tier gaming laptops. And so I got an HP Omen 17, which I'd actually found on eBay for like $500 less than the normal price, which I kind of jumped on that. And turns out it's not only is it a good laptop, but it's also kind of a really good gaming laptop. It might act as might get me back into PC gaming unexpectedly. I got it specifically because I don't play on PC, but it may be good enough that I actually start playing PC games again.
Cool. What was it called? The HP
Omen 17.
Let's take a look and see what that retails
And yeah,
for.
actually, I will say about Elden Ring, AC Wraith has officially passed me. I remember last week we were like, he put 80 hours into it already? Earlier on Discord, he was talking about
Sorry.
having some trouble with a boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that boss in videos. I have not seen him for myself.
Really?
So yeah, AC Wraith has officially surpassed my Elden Ring progress.
Look at that. There's your, which one is it? This B.
I think it was the 1400.
Ooh. I'm not.
No,
that's
wait.
Victus.
Go up on the left. Omen
This one?
laptop 17T CK000.
17. Oh, this one here.
Yeah,
There we go.
I think that was it. And then I found it on eBay for like just under 1,000.
There you go. Not bad. Yeah, I approve. Very nice. So it's got a 720 camera. We'll see how that goes.
I mean, it's also got USB ports, so I can just plug this webcam into it.
True. That's, I have to say that is one of the more annoying things about MacBook Airs. There's no USB ports.
Oh, that's how do you plug stuff in?
You don't. You have to use Bluetooth. Yeah, no, it's a
Bluetooth.
problem. It is a problem. I inherited that laptop from Kevin, and that was the one he wanted, so we got him that one because that's what he wanted. But I mean, it's a great computer. But yeah, that's a problem.
It doesn't like accessories.
Bitter says, I've been playing Amazing Cultivation Simulator. It's like RimWorld, but it's about Kung Fu.
Okay.
Okay. I'm listening.
One of my trigger words to like trigger my interest.
Is Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is RimWorld. So it's you knew your audience when you made that comment.
I thought, what does a cultivation simulator have to do with Kung Fu? That seems so weird.
Don't want to ask. But a game that you turned me on to was Curious Expedition. I also talked about it last week. This week I went into the director's cut. Now, I assumed that the director's cut would be the game all over again, but with director commentary, like director's cuts usually are, or, like there was a whole game. There was a Double Fine game that had director's commentary.
Monkey Island.
Was it Monkey Island? Yeah, Monkey Island, I think. And I think also, what was the one with the masks? Grim Fandango.
Oh, yeah.
I think it also did too.
Yeah, the remakes.
But it's not. It is a entirely different storyline with some extra challenges thrown in that you are the director of the Paris Expo, and you are supposed to, and the Paris Expo is failing, and you are supposed to essentially go out to these expeditions and find stuff to bring back to the expo and make it successful. It is more challenging in that, I mean, it starts out the same. You're an explorer, and then you get your team together and you go out to the islands and you try to do the same things you always do. But what they do is every time you go out for an expedition, you have to pick, you're given a choice of like, I think 3 or 4 things to hobble you a little bit, challenges that you need to overcome in order to complete your mission. Like you might start out with less sanity, or I only did 1 because that's all I had time for this week. And you had to take on your team an auditor from the expedition, or from the expo's auditor with you to ensure that you were doing the right thing. The thing is that becomes a member of your team. You have to dismiss someone on your team to add that person in, and that person has no bonuses. In fact, all of the dice, because how they fight is based on the dice that they have, and you can see when you're recruiting somebody how many dice they have. And some of them may have dice with all dice have some kind of action that you can take during a battle. Some of them have half of the dice are blank. So if you roll that, they take no action. This guy has, I think, what was it, like 8 dice faces or 6 dice faces, and only one of them has something to do, and it's not a very good buff. He's essentially incredibly underpowered. And so you had to take him with you, and it puts you at a significant disadvantage if you ever had to fight something.
He sounds like the Paul Reiser character from Aliens.
Yeah.
He's the company man that's there. He's just getting in the way.
Getting in the way. That's exactly what he's doing.
That sounds cool.
So he was one of 3 or 4 things I had to pick, and I chose him that first time because I thought that he was the least offensive of the 3 options. Needless to say, I survived, but it weren't easy with that guy, especially when you're going on to these islands that are getting progressively more difficult every time you go to a new island. This guy's tagging along. So we'll see how that goes. But it is an entirely different storyline, and it seems to be a lot of fun. It also seems like it's endless. There's levels. So I've only done, I think, level 1. Like, I might be midway through level 2. And so it's just more of the same. Still a fantastic game. Fantastic game. Enjoying the hell out of it.
That's good.
Yeah. Thank you for, by the way, thank you, AC Wraith, who is our link bitch once again. Gosh, I love you guys. I love you for being who you are. He provided the trailer for the amazing cultivation simulator, which I'm going to pull up right now so that we can see it. Let's see it. I can hear you playing it.
Yeah, every time I switch the volume down, but then every time I hit play, the volume pops back up.
Did you mute it? Because are you playing it on YouTube?
I'm playing on the Steam page.
Now, we're talking about the Amazing Cultivator, Amazing Cultivator 2. That's the question.
Oh, I didn't know there was a. This is Amazing Cultivation Simulator 1.
Yeah. Let's take a look. See what this looks like. All right. Ooh, it's pretty. Oh, it's I'm okay with the graphics.
On trees. That's what I think when I think of cultivating.
Yeah.
He said it's a simulation sandbox, so it could very much seems like an Edie game.
Oh, yeah. So
I know earlier on someone said that cultivating meant basically meditating to level up, like your Dragon Ball powers, and this does feel very Dragon Ball-ish.
Yeah. I may have to jump in on this. This looks fun. Twin tail foxes, dogs. Yeah, I'm all about this. So, ma'am, I may be jumping into that next week. But in the meantime, AC Wraith also says Gamera Game doesn't seem to have a website for the game, so I used the trailer, which has a Steam link. Okay, good to know. Do we want to, I know it's really early, but we don't have much else to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you want to jump into the news?
I mean, we may as well. Like I said, if I had additional thoughts about Elden Ring, I would tell them to you.
I know
but
you would.
I don't. I have racked my brain all week trying to think of a new hot take for you people, but I can't. All my takes are cold. They've been in the fridge for too long. They're getting moldy. I need to take them out and throw them away. It's
On that note, let's hit the news. Oh no, that's out music. Sorry. Let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is,
I think one of the most interesting ones is Square Enix sold off a bunch of its studios.
yeah, this was it's acquisition time. Everybody's being acquired, but I don't think this is one that anyone expected to hear about. They woke up to it and was like, whoa, what?
I've seen some speculation that this is basically Square Enix trying to slim itself down to make it a more impressive, to make it a better target for Sony to acquire them.
Yes.
But that's a couple extra levels of speculation beyond where we're at now.
Right. So here's what we know and here's what has happened. Square Enix this week sold 3 studios, all of them North American studios, and a ton of their IPs to Embracer Group. The deal's going to have Embracer be the new parent company of Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix Montreal, and Eidos Montreal. And the catalog that they have purchased is more than 50 quote-unquote back catalog titles, and including Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Khan, I think it was?
Kane.
Sorry, Legacy of Kane. The acquisition is going to also include 1,100 employees, all for the low price of only $300 million.
Yeah.
Which sounds I'm surprised. I'm really surprised at that price. I think that was the biggest surprise of all. That seems like a really screaming deal for
I feel
Embracer.
like there's a couple ways to take that. Either, I think it's Square Enix. We've said it before. They don't really know what to do with their Western studios. And this is them just finally giving up.
Right. And I think that if there's any evidence of them not knowing what to do with their Western studios, just look at Marvel. The 2 Marvel games that they most recently put out. Marvel Avengers, which was just a hot, steaming pile of crap.
Well,
and trying to be a live service that, it was a game, but they were trying to make it a live service, and that didn't fit the game that they had made.
Yeah.
And Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a really good game, but was not marketed properly, and really was very lackluster in sales simply because they didn't market it.
And it came on the heels of a game that was not well received.
So,
I was actually...
Marvel from Square Enix became a liability, not as something, not a selling point.
I remember just the other day, there were people talking on Waypoint. They were talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy game and just saying that the writing is incredible and how they really enjoy it more than the movies.
Mm-hmm. I really should play that game because it did get so much, and I do love of all of the Marvel properties. That's the one I enjoy the most.
And what's cool, it's on Game Pass now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like I've got a goal for this week.
But then I also wonder about that low price. I remember when Sony bought Bungie for $3 billion, which is such a considerable difference. One studio for more than 10, maybe not 10 times. 10 times?
10 times.
But I know a lot of that money.
No, 100, because they bought it for $1 billion, right? So that's
$3 billion.
30 times.
30 times.
3,000. That would be 3,000 million, which would be, so it's 300 million. Oh, I guess that is 10 times. Well, 300 million. Yeah.
Math is hard.
Let's go shopping.
But I know a lot of that went to employee acquisition or employee retention. where they would give employees bonuses, like hey, the first month you get a bonus if you stay, 6 months you get a bonus if you stay, after a year you get a bonus if you stay, because they want to keep that talent around. If it's this low of a price for these studios, the worry is that Embracer Group doesn't care about that, and that they mainly just wanted the IP and the studios came with it.
No, actually, if you take, you have to consider taking them at their word. Embracer Group has said that it quote believes, this is part of their press release about the sale, that they believe that there will be, quote, an increasingly strong demand for high-quality content, including AAA single-player games over the decade. Our approach is that quality comes first in game development, which is why we believe our decentralized operating model of empowering management teams while facilitating synergies positions Embracer for sustainable long-term success. And they specifically called out that the games that some of these studios are working on, like Crystal Dynamics is working on the next Tomb Raider right now. Mm-hmm. They're like, yes, we want Crystal Dynamics to continue working on the next Tomb Raider.
Okay.
You don't know Embracer Group? Embracer Group is a big, big force.
Yeah, they own the thing about them is they own a lot of studios.
They own a lot of studios.
But they don't put their name on anything.
Exactly, because they want the studios to stand out.
Because I think
if there is anybody who was going to be purchased, they own Gearbox. What else do they own? They own Gearbox and a bunch of other stuff.
I know they own THQ Nordic.
Let's see, Embracer Group. They own Koch Media.
Okay.
Let's see. They own Coffee Stain Studios.
Right, the Goat Simulator guys.
Let's see. They have THQ Nordic, Koch Media. Let me put this up and then you guys can see it. This is off of their own page. Coffee Stain, Amplifier, Saber Interactive, Deca, Gearbox, Asmodee, and Dark Horse Media. They also own a couple of other board games companies as well.
I know Asmodee is a board game manufacturer.
We're sorry, Asmodee, yeah.
They own Dark Horse, too.
Mm-hmm. They own a lot. And you never talk about Dark Horse. They are the Dark Horse of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And no one really knows who they are, but they are like the dark hand behind so many studios that they don't put their name, like you said, they don't put their name on it, which is fine, which is good. And this makes me feel, if these studios were going, Special Crystal Dynamics, if these studios were going to go to a big publishing conglomerate, this seems like the best deal possible.
Yeah, the best conglomerate.
It's the best of the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be, this whole thing about we want to keep everything decentralized and let good studios be good studios without our sticking our hands in it and telling them what to do. It could be a bunch of hooey. This is what they say in their press release. Is it true? Don't know. But it's encouraging that, at least given that there's all these studios that we are very aware of, but not exactly aware of them, tells me that that's exactly how they run their companies. And that they're aware that things like for high quality AAA single player games, which means not live service, not,
forced multiplayer
in order so that they can ham fist in a bunch of microtransactions or subscriptions. Says that they make games for people as opposed to games for publishers. And you compare that to Square Enix, where they said, fuck you guys, we don't care what you think, we're going to make Marvel Avengers a live service game, even though we know nobody wants it. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Eat it. We told you to eat it.
And No, AC Ray asked if there were any Japanese studios sold, and the answer is no. It was
No.
all the Western studios.
All Western. Well,
Well-
I think they still have Western studios, but with the 3 studios involved in this are all Western. 2 of them
Yeah.
Canadian, 1 of them
Because notably,
here.
they did keep some Western IPs.
they did.
Most notably, I think, are Life is Strange and Outriders.
And Just Cause.
Oh, Just Cause. Okay.
Just Cause, Outriders, Life is Strange. In fact, for their part, in Square Enix's press release after the announcement, they said they're going to continue to publish those. And that the sale, but that here, here's where it gets interesting. They quote, they said the sale of these North American studios will allow it to, quote, enable the launch of new businesses by moving forward with investments in fields, including blockchain, AI, and the cloud. In other words, my friends, NFTs. Because in the past, Square Enix has absolutely said multiple times over that it sees the future of gaming being in the metaverse, in blockchain, and in play to earn. And they say that's the next big thing. That's where they are directing their company. They're directing their company towards mobile, play to earn, NFTs. And they said flat out NFTs. So you can read this as Square Enix has sold off all these studios and all these IPs so that it can make games like Marvel Avengers, except with NFTs added, which sounds like
Or basically Outriders 2 with NFTs.
Outriders 2 with NFTs, Life is Strange with NFTs. They are going all out on NFTs, and they have sold part of their companies in order so that their blockchain bros can go deep in NFTs.
I like AC Wraith's idea. Build cities with NFTs that you then get to blow up in Just Cause.
So,
but I think it's also really surprising that they hung on to Outriders, because what also came out this week is a report that Outriders did not actually earn any profit within its first year.
yeah.
And this comes on the heels of, I don't know, was it 6 months ago or some time ago? There was an article about how the developer...
People Can Fly.
Yeah, People Can Fly. They made the game with investment from Square Enix with the idea that once the game starts to turn profit, they will get some of that money.
A portion of the royalties.
But until they recoup the profits, everything goes to Square Enix. And they had said that, oh, we didn't recoup our profits on launch. Like with the Game Pass deal, that didn't help because it came out day one on Game Pass. Even though it sold pretty well on PlayStation, that didn't help. But he was optimistic that they would turn that corner within the first year. Apparently not.
Yeah. So yeah, today a financial report from People Can Fly, actually not present today, it was earlier this week. People Can Fly confirmed that the game didn't turn a profit at all in 2021, at least not enough to be able for them to recoup to reach that line to
for
pay
any
back
for
the
any
investment.
of it to come to them.
Right. And the documents note that Square Enix has yet to make any revenue that exceeds the cost of development, marketing, and distribution of the title. And to this date, People Can Fly still hasn't received royalties from any Outrider sales, which is interesting, like you said, why they kept it, except for the fact that they may be possibly seeing this as a good vehicle for their blockchain, NFT, AI
I know
future.
when it launched, and it launched pretty successfully, Square Enix said, hey, we see this as a major new franchise for us. So maybe they see hope that Outriders 2 could turn around and blow up, which sometimes happens. Like a game comes out, does okay, earns good word of mouth over the couple of years. The sequel comes out, blows up really, really big. That's happened with a bunch of stuff. But for a company that seems to be as penny pinching as Square Enix, it's just really surprising to see them hang on to it.
Yep. And I'm really surprised that to see Life is Strange pulling, because that is a decidedly Western game. You don't really get more Western than
that. But I imagine those have sold really well. I can't imagine they're that expensive to make. They probably make money on that.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's also you've probably seen quite a bit of news that the NFT market is collapsing in spectacular ways. The amount of transactions happening on the NFT market, OpenSea is the biggest one, that they've gone from hundreds of thousands, like multiple hundreds of thousands of transactions a day, to a fraction of that right now, just in the last month. The backlash on NFT is happening. It is real. Was it Jack Dorsey's first tweet?
Oh yeah,
that sold for something like $14 million. No, it was. I'll have to look it up.
I think it was like 3 or 13. I think there was a 3 in there, but I don't remember.
There's definitely 3. Yeah, AC Wraith, was it 3 million or 13 million? I know that the buyer that purchased it put it back up for auction, and the highest bid he got was $14,000.
Yeah.
It's the floor of the NFT market has collapsed, and now it is a bunch of NFT bros all trying to convince themselves they haven't lost money.
Yeah. And then this comes on the heels. Last week we talked about the Bored Ape Yacht Club getting hacked and people getting stuff stolen from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's not as secure, and B, not as much of an investment as you might think. There's also been very much talk in the federal government about looking into NFTs as securities, and they should be covered by the SEC. Because if by the legal definition of securities, they're securities. They are. So yeah, and AC Ray says they'll wait to shut down the servers until after the NFTs are bought.
Yeah. Oh, I bought all this Outriders NFTs, and then a month later.
Yeah. And AC Wraith also says, I wonder if they'll trade any writers between the Life is Strange team and their RPGs.
Maybe. I imagine that they're probably in like different countries, though.
AC Ray said, his foos arrives. What price check am I doing? Price check! AC Wraith, price check on the original sales price of Jack Dorsey's first tweet.
Hey, wait, let's see. I'm going to look it up now. Just type Jack Dorsey tweet. News.
13 million.
Okay, he bought it for 13 million.
Bought it for 13 million. And it sold for its highest. He put it up for auction. The highest bid. Pardon me. Swallowed wrong. Highest bid that he got was $14,000.
Yeah, and I heard that he didn't actually sell it.
He did not. No, he was like, "No, I'm not selling you for $14,000." I'm like, "Well, you might want to."
No. I think this has way more value.
Yeah, I think this is worth more. You could think that, but here's the definition of value: it's what people will pay for it, and people want to pay $14,000 for it. So yeah, he can hold on to it, convince himself. Speaking of which, I mean, totally unrelated. I don't have anything else, but you know that do you remember that the Queen was given a 24 karat gold Wii when they first came out? Yeah. It's up for sale. It's up for auction right now.
What? The Queen does not respect her Wii?
Highest bid right now is $6,000. That sounds doable. Like, there is a part of me like, I could.
$6,000. So okay,
cool.
is it gold plated?
It is a gold plated. As far as I'll look it up.
So it's
now,
not
let me look this up so that I can put it up
out
here.
Of solid gold. Is it just basically a Wii controller with that gold foil on top of it?
Queen gold Wii auction. There we go.
Like there are various ways you can make things gold colored.
It is a gold-plated Wii.
Okay.
I'll fit one that's here we go.
Seems like kind of an appropriate price for that.
There we go. There it is. There is the gold-plated Wii. And it is going, well, that says as of the writing of this one, which was May 6th, which was 2 days ago, the bidding is at $2,000. Let me see. Let's see if I can find the price.
Did the Wii have HDMI?
Not the original Wii. I don't even think that HDMI existed when the original Wii came out.
Oh, man. So you'll spend $6,000 on a console that you can't hook up to a TV?
No, you're not going to hook that up. You might hook it up to a TV for a second
Why
or two.
would you not hook if I have a gold-plated video game console, you bet your ass I am putting that front and center of everything. I want people to see that.
I'm trying to see if I can find if I can find the, there we go. All right. So I found another, this is the actual company that is selling it. I want to see what the price is now, just for giggles. Let's see. Okay. This is just an interview. Oh, it's on eBay.
Oh.
So here is a close-up of it. It's pretty snazzy looking.
It is.
You can see it collects dust like crazy.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
There we go.
Take some upkeep.
Oh, it's off. It's no longer there. Let's see. What's the date on this thing? It is April 28th. And when it says if you want to see, down here it says if you want to see the eBay listing here, when you go to the eBay listing, this is what you get. Stand by.
I found a listing.
Yeah, so I don't see it.
I found a golden listing.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, oh yeah, ends in 13 days. So it looks like this auction is going on.
Oh, you found it. Put it up.
Okay.
I don't know how we got onto the gold Wii from NFTs, but it's almost appropriate. I would actually happily spend money on a gold Wii because that's a thing. That's, if I've got it in my house and no one steals it from me, it's mine forever.
Yeah.
Oh, AC Ray said he found it? No.
Yes, I
You
did.
did not. You did not find it. All right.
I put it up.
No, but AC Ray found it. Yeah, it's going for $3,000.
Well, also, if you look at the bid history, because it's got 13 days, it started at 1,500 on the 5th, and by the 8th, it's gone up to 300. So it's doubled.
3,000. It's doubled. Yeah, but also, when does it go off?
13 days.
Okay, so on 12 days, that's what we need to see because you're going to have people that are going to try and snipe that.
True. Okay, I'll keep this
for
tab open.
$3,000, I would totally buy that for $3,000.
I'm going to favorite this tab.
Okay, good.
Put it in my bookmark bar. So that, hey,
right.
if it's under 6, maybe I'll get in there and snipe it.
Yeah, maybe we could snipe each other.
Oh yeah,
like get into a bidding war between the two of us.
People, okay, listeners. Give us Patreon at GameHounds. What is the website?
Patreon. It's a patreon.com/GameHounds. We will absolutely use your money to buy that $3,000
buy a gold
Wii.
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway, that's the story of what's going on with that sale. Man. It gives me unbelievable amount of hope that, there's 50 plus titles in that. Although I haven't found a list of the actual, all the titles that they will purchase in the sale.
I imagine a lot of it is probably stuff we haven't heard of.
Right. Or stuff we've heard of. It's just it's been collecting dust on a shelf at Square Enix for many years. And that makes me very excited because Embracer is the kind of company to actually go back and make a sequel of a game that we actually want. I would love to see a Thief 2 and 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. So, assuming that they're good.
The last Thief game
so
was
they're
okay.
not shoveling. I liked Thief a lot. I think that it had the potential to be much more than what it was, but they didn't really exploit it. But I liked Thief. In fact, shoot, if it's on Game Pass, I may go back and
I think it might be because I think it was a Bethesda joint.
Was it? I will look. I wouldn't mind going back and playing Thief again. It's been
apparently
a long time.
There was a movie called Thief, so when I type in Thief, I just get the movie.
Yeah, you have to Thief game. I've made that mistake myself before.
Okay, Thief 2014. Oh no, it was an Eidos Montreal thing. Well, obviously it was Eidos Montreal because this just got sold by
right. Them. Yeah, that's. But maybe was Bethesda the publisher of it? No, Square Enix would be the publisher of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, never mind. Okay, so moving right along. Next item. All right, you brought up the first one, but we had, this is one of those rare times when you and I kept on bringing up.
Yeah, we've got.
I'd say, "What's your topic?" And you'd say something, and I'm like, "Got it." So, let's talk about this week in the Ubisoft shit show. I got a lot of shit show updates this week.
Ubisoft shit show.
Ubisoft shit show. This week in the Ubisoft shit show, there is a rumor afoot, my friends. The Gilmo family wants to acquire Ubisoft. Now, if you recall, Ubisoft is publicly traded, which means that the Gilmo family would buy all the shares back from the shareholders, and it would be privately held. The reason being is that you don't have to report shit like lawsuits and other stuff when you are privately held versus publicly held. One of the reasons why that Ubisoft has had such backlash and there's any teeth in it is because of shareholder backlash. But if it's privately held, you can do whatever you want to because you are the king of that land, which is terrifying. At the same time that is tantalizing for investors, it is terrifying, the concept that the Gilmo family might acquire Ubisoft so that it could quietly go away and keep doing business as usual with putting their friends in positions of power to fuck up their games and then, abuse their employees. Get handsy.
Remember last we heard there was like some investment firms looking into it, and that seemed
possible.
Okay. But yeah, knowing that it's just him wanting to take things public because then I don't have to tell people about how I fucked up.
Right. That's the difference between private and public. And that's why public
is
what it is.
I get this. It makes sense because I know that guy is very protective of Ubisoft. I remember there was a whole debacle of them trying to avoid getting taken over by Warner Brothers. Was it like Warner Brothers kept investing in them?
No, it was, who was it? Who did Ubisoft fit it off?
Universal? It was some other big conglomerate, but they invested in Ubisoft, and it was clear.
And they ended up buying it.
Hostile takeover. No, they didn't. They never bought Ubisoft. They just
Ubisoft ended up buying the company that tried to take it over. That company went under. Crap. It's literally on the tip of my tongue. People in the chat room, it's on the tip of my tongue.
So like going through all that and knowing that Ubisoft they've been in the Gilmo family since its beginning. Like, I get why he's very protective of it. But this feels like the wrong time to try to take it private because it really just seems like
Vivendi.
Oh, you failed. Oh yeah, Vivendi.
I didn't want to say anything because it was on the top of my head. There's lots of things that I knew it wasn't, but was close to it. So yeah, it was Vivendi was the one that was trying to do the hospital takeover, and then of course Vivendi failed. And who bought a lot of Vivendi was Ubisoft. It was the ultimate fuck you.
So I can see him wanting to retain control of it and not wanting to sell it to someone, but this is still kind of a bad look considering the context, considering what's been going on.
Right, and also it would protect him from being ousted.
Yeah,
because the only people who can remove him as CEO is the board of directors, and the board of directors only is there because of stockholders. That's what you have to have stack. You have to have a board of directors that represents stockholders. If you remove the board of directors from the mix, then nobody can remove him ever as CEO because it's the Gilmo family company property. Doesn't belong to anybody else.
I don't know if the Gilmo family has that much money to buy Ubisoft.
It's supposedly, it's according, if you look up at these articles that are being linked by AC Wraith, that it's they're partnering with private equity firms. That it's not just them, but it would be private equity firms in conglomeration, in partnership with the Gilmo family to take it private.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that. I don't know how that would work.
Oh, that's happened before.
Yeah,
public companies being made private again. Yeah, absolutely happened.
But like, I imagine whatever private equity firm is involved still has some say in it because they've put up a lot of money.
Right, they become a partner.
Yeah,
but it's privately held partnership, not stockholder partnership.
So it's
not
basically
public. So it's just a couple of guys getting in a room, working it out between themselves, as opposed to a couple of guys taking it to a board of directors that have to make a decision based on shareholder, which means it has to be made public.
So it's more like the private equity firm is the godfather, and Gilmo is like a high level fixer. Is like, yeah, don't worry, I'll make you games.
I'll make the games. Money. I'll make you money. You just let me do what I want to do and just stay out of my way. And they'll be like, fine. But if he private equity firms like, hey, we're in it for the money. We don't really care about making games.
If he doesn't do it,
you to make money.
Then he'll wake up one day and find the pig from Beyond Good and Evil. He'll find a pig's head in his bed.
Maybe if he owns 51% of it, no.
Oh yeah.
So. So yeah, that may be happening, which would be just awful. It would be awful for every single person who works at Ubisoft. No question. There is absolutely no one, not gamers, not workers, not developers, no one would get any benefit out of this except the Gilmo family.
Yeah.
Specifically Yves Gilmo, because then he can never be ousted. So yeah. Next item. Well, I guess we might as well do the other shit show. I mean, we're on the shit show train. Let's just stay on it.
May as well.
Okay, this week in the Activision shit show, Blizzard shit show, which of course still remains to be being shitty all the time. They all do, but this one particularly shitty.
Yeah.
Latest news?
New York City is suing Activision Blizzard, basically alleging that Kotick was the wrong person to negotiate this sale because he had too much to lose from it failing. That basically the sale was a way for him to avoid being responsible.
Which is exactly what it was.
Yeah. And that he just gets out of it with a golden parachute and avoids any sort of punishment. And that the suit says the board of directors should have stepped in and stopped him from negotiating it because he was the wrong person. Like
he was going to sell it at a discount because his motivations wasn't getting the highest price. His motivation was hiding his own crimes.
Yeah. Like, again, this is kind of a shareholder thing that, he wasn't selling the company for the benefit of the company. He was selling it for the benefit of himself.
Right. So the reason why New York City can do this is that the New York City Employees Retirement System, the NICERS, as they're called, NICERS and their pension funds are significant shareholders in Activision Blizzard. They held a lot of Activision Blizzard stock. So, and this is according to a report from Axios. Yeah, they filed saying that the NICERS, which does own stock in the company, says that the deal hurt the company's value because the $95 a share that was offered by Microsoft undervalued the company, because that's what the company was trading at before the Activision Blizzard shit show happened, before Kotick blew up the company. And that does not represent a good price for a buyout of essentially market price minus Bobby Kotick. Like, if you take Bobby Kotick out of the equation, it would have been $95 a share. That's not a good price for a whole company buyout. It was after Kotick fucked up the company, but that, like you said, the Kotick made the sale not because it was a good price for the value of the company, but because it was due to his own mismanagement and fuck ups, and in a way to hide what he had been doing and hide his culpability for all of what he'd been doing. Even
if not hide his culpability, just avoid any repercussions, any consequences for that.
Right.
Like, we all know he did it. We all know that he's been a bad CEO, but this basically avoids any punishment for that.
Yep. So according to NICER, they said, quote, given Kotick's personal this is part of their complaint. Given Kotick's personal responsibility and liability for Activision's broken workplace, it should have been clear to the board that he was unfit to negotiate a sale of the company. This deal allows Kotick and his fellow directors a means to escape liability for their egregious breaches of fiduciary duty. So we'll see how that goes. That actually, that has the potential of actually going somewhere significant.
Yeah. At least the fact that they get to take a close look at the...
it has also the potential of not just busting Bobby Kotick, but bringing out discovery of the negotiation of how that went down. Because that will be part of discovery of why Bobby Kotick sold and why he sold at that price. It's a lot of dirty laundry that's going to be in there. So, we'll see. Do we have any other shit shows?
Well, this is still relating to Activision. So, the latest Call of Duty has not... Well, it's sold well, but it's been poor
Vanguard, Call of Duty Vanguard.
By Call of Duty standards. And Activision has came out and basically blamed this on the World War II setting. They said the game's World War II setting... Games
in World War II never do well.
No.
Seriously. No. Bad company, failure. Which failure.
Battlefield took place in the near future, and that game did great, right?
Right. Oh, exactly. Should have been future, like 2042.
Yeah. And that's it. It's just them trying to cover themselves, coming up with no mention about how the game itself was poorly received.
Was bad. It was not a great game.
All of the debacle around Activision and how that affected people's response to the game. No mention about the pandemic and how that probably changed some level of development.
That's like them saying, what killed Guitar Hero? Aerosmith.
People just don't care about Aerosmith.
Just don't care about Aerosmith. Yeah. So, yeah. Moving right along, because that's just so fucking ludicrous. It's hard to put my head around. Let's see. I'm looking back. Let's see. AC Ray says, 1, federal harassment suit settled through facing appeals. 2, discrimination suit from California. 1, purported class action suit. 4, shareholder lawsuits consolidated into 2. 8 lawsuits over the Microsoft merger. 4 voluntarily dismissed. 220 complaints, including 1 from NYC and SEC investigation and inside trader inquiries from the SEC and Department of Justice, and a partridge in a pear tree. That is essentially what they're facing.
Their legal department is swamped.
Wow. Yeah, they're finally going to end up having to work to get paid at this point. Yeah. Not a lot of sleep going on in the legal department at Activision.
No.
All right. So our next item is.
Excuse me.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that. There we go.
Go to a fun one.
Right.
There are some rumors that Xbox is going to launch a streaming puck or an app by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Now, I had not heard the term puck before, but I guess that's another term for a dongle, which is just basically a little USB device or a HDMI device, a little device that you plug into the TV and it does your stuff. It's like a Roku, like a Chromecast, like that sort of thing.
Right.
And
now this comes
doing it for cloud gaming to allow you to stream games.
This comes out of VentureBeat. He said that within the next, and this is according to sources that they know, they're people. Sources say within the next 12 months, Microsoft plans to release an Xbox cloud gaming streaming device that could be similar to the Roku Puck or the Amazon Fire Stick. The question is, some people are saying that it could be a console that is strictly, like a super mini console that you plug it in and allows you to just stream. So the reports say the device is going to allow users to not only stream games through Game Pass, but also movies and television too. And this does track very much with much of what Xbox has said for over the past years, and certainly with the new streaming service. And it's not going to be, according to these reports, not just going to be this device, this puck or whatever, that it's also going to be apps on Samsung smart TVs, which makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Total sense to have. And I'm just... The amount of apps that are not on Samsung TVs is more surprising to me than the ones that are. Like, I am astounded that Crunchyroll is not on Samsung TVs.
It's not?
It's not on mine.
Huh.
And I would think that, they keep updating it. They keep fucking updating it. I'm assuming that means that they're adding services. Crunchyroll is not on there.
Is there any way to sideload it?
Possibly, but I'm not going to.
Because I've done that with stuff for the Roku TV.
Yeah, possibly. Apple TV, obviously, not on Samsung devices.
Oh, okay.
I have to go into. I can go to my Xbox, but it's like I can watch Crunchyroll. I just can't watch it directly from my Samsung TV.
You have to take that extra step of turning on the console.
Then going in, and then at the end of the night turning off. Whereas, like when I watch YouTube, I just turn on the television, scroll over to YouTube, and start.
Yeah.
So yeah, this streaming service on a Samsung TV makes absolute sense. And that's also apparently, according to the reports, going to be rolling out in the next 12 months. So remember, friends and relatives. I don't have any relatives. I only have friends. You remember what's happening in a month, right?
Oh, yeah. The E3.
The Xbox E3-ish thing. Yeah.
That would be a good time to show off this.
I will absolutely guarantee you, I would bet you a gold Wii that they're going to mention that. And I think I'd win that Wii. So, yeah. Keep your ears peeled because it's going to get announced. Assuming that is true. And it makes every every sense.
Yeah,
It makes no sense not to have it be true.
we know they've wanted to do this for a while.
They've been talking about streaming at E3s for years.
Yeah.
Everybody has wanted to do streaming ever since Netflix started streaming. They just hadn't
Although
figured out quite how to do it.
It's been interesting. We've been playing a lot with Chris, and he usually does Stadia because he's a pilot, so he's flying all over the place. You mentioned at the top of the show that like he was in Peru yesterday, trying to play online, but he couldn't because the internet wasn't well enough. So he played a lot on Stadia. He had recently gotten like a month trial for Game Pass and the Xbox streaming, and it seems like the Xbox streaming.
He couldn't believe how great it was.
It has a good selection, but also like the streaming quality was not as good as Stadia. Like Stadia's was more stable. It was able to connect and stream stuff at a lower.
Didn't we have to? He was playing streaming on Game Pass. We were on Game Pass playing Outriders, and we couldn't hear him. He had no voice.
Oh, yeah, we were playing Battlefield.
That's right, Battlefield.
Yeah.
And we had no voice, and we had to switch over to Extraction.
Yeah, and then we switched over to Extraction because he can play that on Stadia, and then we were able to voice chat through it.
Right. So, as far as quality of streams, Xbox is not the best quality, but it does have all those games that you want to play.
It does. It's a little sad to like see a one-to-one comparison, like real world comparison, and see like, oh, the Stadia technology is really good.
Yeah.
But like, it could have been when you see that side by side and you see how good that technology was, it just makes it all the more tragic that that service was kind of strangled in its crib.
Yeah. Blood Reaper does mention that one of the reasons why we don't see Crunchyroll on Samsung TVs, it's because PlayStation owns Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Why would that keep them off Samsung?
I don't see that being a thing.
Is there a Funimation app on Samsung?
No. No. I don't see that being a thing because this is not competing with the PlayStation product. Somebody's not going to buy a PlayStation because they can't watch Crunchyroll.
Maybe
on their TV
because they're both owned by Sony, and Sony makes its own TVs.
Maybe on Sony television, maybe that might be a possibility. But Sony televisions, nobody's going to buy a Sony television because it has Crunchyroll and Funimation apps on it, and Samsung doesn't.
That feels like if that's the reason of like, our competitor owns these two niche services. We're not going to put out an app for it.
I did not know this, and I feel like an idiot. And maybe I'm going to state something. I was going to point out what an idiot I was. Did you know that Samsung is Korean?
I don't think so.
Yes. Samsung is one of the chaebol companies of Korea, like the biggest chaebol company of Korea.
No.
Did not know this until I started doing research into chaebols.
Chaebol?
Chaebol.
What's that?
All right. The TLDR version is that years and years ago, when Korea's economy collapsed, the Korean government essentially named particular companies to take over sectors. They said, all right, this is a company that is going to do electronics. This is the company that is going to do phones. Maybe not phones, but these are the companies that are going to be doing certain industries. And those became the anointed industries by the government. They got lots of money for it. These were privately owned companies by families. Samsung was the company that was named to be the electronics company of Korea. But they're privately owned, even though they're government anointed. They're privately owned. And it's becoming an issue because as these companies have become, the ones that have survived, have become more and more successful, they're contributing a very, very high portion of the country's GDP. Like Samsung is 20% of Korea's GDP is Samsung.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like crazy amounts. One company. And, of course, the families that run these chaebols are untouchable. Like the airline, what was the name of the airline company? Korean Air. Remember the girl on Korean Air that got in trouble because she made the plane turn around because she was given macadamia nuts in a packet instead of on a plate? She was the daughter of the CEO of Korean Air, and it became a massive scandal. That is a Chaebol family. They live in a world that we cannot possibly understand. They cannot be arrested. They cannot be accused of crimes. They have more money than you and I, than even our billionaires here couldn't even possibly imagine. They're incredibly powerful because, like the Samsung family accounts for 20% of the country's GDP.
Yeah,
it's not like they're going to get pulled over for a parking ticket or anything else in the world. So yeah, there you go, Samsung. So that's what Chaebols are.
Okay.
Is essentially like, just think like multi-billionaires, cubed.
So maybe knowing that, maybe some member of Sony accidentally angered one of those Samsung family members, and they're like, you know what? Just out of spite, I'm not going to put any Sony apps on our TV.
Jeff Bezos, Blood Reaper says Jeff Bezos possibly compete. Jeff Bezos would be at the lower end of the power that these people, because you have to remember that you've got a country
Bezos now has the money.
Jeff Bezos in a country, in a much smaller country that has way more corruption. Way more corruption.
He's got the money, but now he doesn't have a business. Like, he retired from Amazon. Yeah. He's no longer running it.
And he only has half the money because his ex-wife took it off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Anyway.
Good for her.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Nut rage incident. There it is. The nut rage incident, as it became known. Yeah, she expected the nuts, but expected them on a plate in first class. Right. So they were handed to her in a packet instead of a plate. It was macadamia nuts. I remember these things. So anyway, how did we get on Chaebols? Let's move right along to another story. Yeah. By the way, don't forget, subscribe. If you are sitting here watching us, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It's important. It's super important. I see one blue thumb up. Please go to if you're watching wherever you are, like it, wherever you are, star it, heart it, whatever.
The more likes we get, the closer we get to buying the gold-plated Wii.
The gold-plated Wii. Hey, AC Wraith, do me a favor. Since that thing is closing in 13 days, remind me next episode to check that. We need to have that in the news.
Are you like, AC Wraith, set a reminder for me.
Hey, AC Wraith. Hey, Siri. Hey, AC Wraith. All right. So what other items do we have? You bought one. Oh, let's see. So much we're talking about. Did we already talk about the Sony Bungie sale? No, we didn't. Since we're talking about government agencies and
we had talked about the Sony. Oh, that's right. They're being investigated.
They're being investigated. Yeah. So Sony has said Sony's buying Bungie. Sony has said that it will not make its games, but Bungie's games, PlayStation exclusive. They flat out said that. But even so, the United States Federal Trade Commission is investigating because they're afraid that no matter what Sony says now, it may not later. So they bought Bungie for $3.6 billion earlier this year. According to The Information, which is a paywalled company, news outlet, the FTC has launched a, quote, in-depth investigation, unquote, of the deal. They say that the investigation started towards the end of April, and it's supposedly focusing on the fact that Sony might make Bungie games like the Destiny series, which is a big one for the Bungie, exclusive to PlayStation consoles. So they are looking to ensure that does not become the case. There has been directives from the Biden administration to the FCC to start watching very closely many of these acquisitions in the electronics field especially in the electronic entertainment field, because so many of them are happening right now, to take very close looks at those when it comes to antitrust violations. So there's been it's not just the FTC, it is the presidential administration is saying, hey, we're noticing all of these sales. We want to make sure that all of these are 100% kosher and does not hurt people, because given the state of our economy, given what's happening right now as a trend of companies being gobbled up, we want to make sure that this is not going to hurt consumers in the future. So it's good. I'm glad they're doing it. And incidentally, it's not just Sony. FTC is also investigating the $68.7 billion Activision sale as well.
That one for sure.
Right. And for a lot of other reasons, not just antitrust. But pretty much all of the sales that are going through right now are all being examined for antitrust. But they officially announced that investigation is happening.
Okay.
What you got?
I'll keep on the PlayStation train.
Okay.
In Japan, PlayStation has finally come up with a method to stop scalpers, or at least stop people from maybe buying scalped consoles unknowingly. So what they've started doing is shipping units to retailers with a special, like, basically the thing you get on clothes, the oil
RFID tags?
Yeah, the thing that you have to get stuck on there that you can't pull off.
RFID tags. Yep. Anti-theft protection devices.
Some sort of seal on the console box, with the idea being that when the retailer sells it, they break that seal. So that seal is like basically a seal of official, like you bought it through an official retailer.
Okay.
So in theory, if a scalper has bought it from someone, that seal will be broken. So when they try to sell it to someone else, you can see, oh, the seal's broken. This has been scalped.
I don't know that that's necessarily about scalpers. That's just resellers in general.
True.
Because, I mean, I wasn't a scalper. I ended up with 2 Xbox consoles because I didn't trust that the first one, I was going to get the first one, and bought a second one because I wasn't entirely sure that was all going to go through. And sure enough, I got both. So I resold, but I didn't scalp. I sort of did. I mean, I did sell it at the market price, but the problem isn't the scalpers reselling. It's the problem is scalpers reselling. It's the price. Well, it's not the price. The price is being driven by the market. It is the mass sales by bots, where they buy out everything, so it artificially drives the demand, and the price goes up. The price is what the price is. They don't set the price unless they own all of the consoles. And that's the thing, they're owning all the consoles. So it's not really...
You don't see it having that much of an impact?
If it's not being so... How does that change anything? It's like, does that stop somebody from buying it? Because it's like, oh, this has been purchased. But if you bought it off of eBay, it's been purchased before. Maybe. I mean, that goes without saying.
Sometimes, like, there are things on eBay that present themselves as new. I
presented mine as new, but everybody knew I got them from somewhere else. I didn't play it. It didn't open. It was new in box, never been opened.
New in box. So AC Race asks, why would a scalper open the box? And it's not that they would open the box. It's just that at the point of sale, the retailer would break the seal in a way that makes it visible.
So does that change? It's still new. It's still new in box, still never been opened.
I imagine it's the assurance of, okay, I'm buying a new sealed PlayStation.
The only way that this would make any difference is if people were concerned that the retailer that they were going to buy their console was legitimate. Like if I go to Best Buy and I buy a new console, I expect it to be new from the manufacturer. If I got that console and it was broken, it'd be like, they did not buy this from the manufacturer. They bought it from a secondary market, and they bought it from a scalper, essentially. That would be interesting. If I go to eBay to buy a console, that's not a retailer. That is somebody with it. That's somebody who bought it at a retailer and is reselling it on eBay.
Yeah, it sounds like this matters more for physical sales, where you are there buying something, less for online sales.
But that's what scalpers are. It's online sales. They don't buy.
Well, that just means that
I don't
buy PlayStation Online.
My head is exploding about how this makes no difference to anything. Why? I'm clearly missing something, because this is not a fix for anything that is the problem.
It is a short article that just describes what these seals are, what the philosophy behind them is.
That is like saying, you have cancer, so I bought you some earrings. That's not my problem. This does nothing. I mean, thank you. It's nice. It's adorable. But is this fixing the cancer? No, the cancer has nothing to do with what you just did.
I can see that. Yeah, the article says that a PS5 being sold by the scalpers will be easy to spot on account of the broken seal. But you're making the point that it doesn't matter if it's easy to spot.
We all know they're scalpers. How do you find a scalper? You go to eBay. That's how we know they're scalpers.
Hey, they may not be scalpers. I've had good deals on eBay.
Yeah, but when it comes to consoles, all you have to do is go to the console, like the person's name, click on the name, and it shows all of their sales. If they've sold 20 or 30 PS5s, they're a scalper. My head is exploding that they thought that this was a problem. It's not even. It doesn't even. It not only doesn't solve a problem, and not only doesn't solve the problem, it literally doesn't solve any problem that isn't already solved.
Okay,
AC Ray says it's a short article that the English translation source was 3 weeks late on, yet the English language media felt the need to repeat it. Yeah, okay. So I'm fascinated about this because I feel like I'm missing something. It's difficult. I'm questioning my own intelligence because this sounds so stupid to me.
I will say it looks like PlayStation 5s on eBay are going for an average of $700 to $800, like $620, $780, $720, $740. So up to $800 seems to be the ceiling. So that price is slowly coming down.
Right, and this is not at the time that scalping is no longer an issue, or at least on the far downside of the peak of the scalping problem. Now is not the time to be coming in with, hey, we've solved scalping. We've got a seal now.
Yeah, now just make more consoles.
Anyway, moving right along.
Okay. News story.
Okay, news story, please. My brain is locking up.
Okay, let's talk about E3 then. So Summer Game Fest has announced that it will kick off on June 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And it will have an initial live show hosted by Jeff Keighley.
And then it will be.
Did we? I thought we talked about
last week.
I thought we talked about Microsoft's thing. Microsoft's thing is the 12th.
Oh, all right, and you're right.
This is Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. So
I think we talked about that the week before. Honestly,
okay. Well, it's going to he's going to host a video in the beginning, and then the rest of the day will be for Day of the Devs, which is going to be hosted by I Am 8-Bit and Double Fine.
Oh, nice.
And just kind of go through a whole bunch of games throughout the day.
That sounds good. Also, let's see what else have I got. We already talked about Square Enix. Oh, Halo Infinite. Did I make a tag for this? I must have. I guess I did not, so I have to make one. Halo Infinite Season 2. A couple of things about this. Let me write a little banner quick. Halo Infinite Season 2 launches. A couple things. One is that it launched this week. Titled Lone Wolves. I will start with the inconsequential part of it. Apparently, do you remember Clippy?
Yeah.
Clippy is now part of Halo Infinite Season 2.
I'm going to be honest. I never got the Clippy hate. I always liked Clippy.
I think that the world can very much be divided into two teams. Pro Clippy and anti Clippy. And there is a lot more anti-Clippy than there are pro. I am firmly pro Clippy. I mean anti-Clippy. Firmly anti-Clippy.
Clippy was cute. He just wanted to help you. Like how can you hate someone like that?
I really wish I could run polls right now in StreamYard because I would like to find out Clippy. Yes, no.
Clippy just wanted to be your friend.
Anyway, he is in. It was Season 2 launched. There is, believe it or not, a Clipster nameplate, and there's also a gun charm in Halo Infinite of a little Clippy.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that.
So, unfortunately, 343 Industries, the developer, spent a lot of time working on this Clippy stuff. They might want to have spent more time on the actual launch of the Season 2, because it has not gone well.
I have heard, and I read like a Kotaku article about how people were disappointed in this, but the caveat being that it seemed like a lot of the people most upset about it are the pro players. The speedrunners, yeah, sure. But like, if you're a pro player and you're upset at these changes, I don't care about that.
Well, it wasn't all that. There was there's a lot of bugs that were in it. It removed a bunch of features that a lot of people liked. And it had performance issues, and like you said, it pissed off a lot of the pro players and a lot of the. DC Ray says, "Twist him into a light bulb filament and watch him burn." Wow, the chat room has lit up. Clippy Frel, no.
Andy Pandy, yes, vote one for Clippy.
Blood Reaper says, I lead anti-Clippy side. Andy Pandy says, vote one for Clippy.
Wow, AC Ray.
See, the thing is that the pro Clippies are like, I liked Clippy. I thought he was all right. The anti-Clippies are hilariously anti-Clippy. Yeah. They don't just sort of like him, they hate him.
They want him to burn. They want violence.
So anyway, here's some of the complaints about Halo 2's Halo Infinite Season 2. Even though some players said that say that you can leave matches preemptively without risking progress towards active challenges, which is one of the things that was supposed to be happening. Some players are reporting that their accounts are failing to reflect any progression. Many traversal techniques, which are popular among, like you said, these high-level pro players, were removed from the game. That has pro players and high-level players very upset. This was telegraphed in the patch notes that it was happening, but they didn't expect it to be as severe a cut as it was. When it dropped, where it was like, oh, they didn't just adjust it; they removed it. It wasn't. They weren't scaling back; they were taking it out with a machete. The update also removed several Halo Infinite speedrunning exploits, which had speedrunners upset. And on top of it, following the patch, some guns now jam up without warning.
See, I think that's cool. I like that idea.
I know you might, but the studio said it's unintentional and they plan to fix it. The feedback was very fast and a lot of anger. There was, of course, a bunch of new maps and other stuff. And for every line of praise about these new maps, about all of the new things that they'd added and the new gameplay, there was way more people criticizing it than were supporting it. That being said, even if you might argue that it was a small minority, it was enough people complaining about how it was not good that 343s is apologizing for it.
I mean, it doesn't take many people to do that.
Right. To the point of where they're giving out free gear as an apology. And they're, quote unquote, reviewing options for the future. The free gear is going to include 5 challenge swaps, which are single-use items that allow you to swap out one of your weekly challenges. XP boosts, obviously single-use items that boost your XP for a particular amount of time, usually an hour. And these are going to be available to anyone who logs in through March 16th. May 16th. Sorry.
No. Okay. That makes more sense.
So yeah, Halo Infinite Season 2, not
Okay.
well received.
I'm going to go off on a little tangent, and it's
Okay.
going to circle back. On a recent episode of Waypoint, one of the hosts played the Overwatch 2 beta, and she came away from that being really, really negative on it. Just like that I think she called it like an astounding failure of creativity. Because of how much it didn't change and to how much it leaned into the complaints about that pro players had. And as she talked about it, she kind of worked through the history of Overwatch as a game,
Right.
and how it fell from originally launching as this incredibly popular multiplayer game to kind of slowly dwindling over time. And a lot of that has to do with Blizzard balancing the game based on what the pro players complained about.
Right.
Because she kept saying the pro players, they didn't want the balance of support, DPS, and tank that like made up the core of Overwatch. They just wanted DPS. They just wanted people to die faster. They wanted to shoot people. And so over the course of that game's lifespan, the support got phased out more and more and more until they started doing more damage, so they just became another damage character, to the point that the entire balance of these classes became unraveled, and that this game basically removes one of those players in a way that only exacerbates that and makes it more into just a generic team shooter and not like the actual class-based shooter that originally
It was
launched
originally intended.
And so when I hear like, oh, these pro players, these high level players are all complaining about Halo's changes, I think I don't want to know what the pro players are upset at, because generally what they don't like, most of the other people are fine with. And if you start balancing the game in their favor, you're going to ruin it for everyone.
Well, I don't think this is a case of balancing the game in their favor. I think that they are among the other players that have a problem. Case in point, guns jamming. Guns shouldn't jam.
I hope so. Like, I hope that the average player has just as much complaints that Bungie will follow through on, and it's not a minority of players steering the conversation to them in a way that will eventually make this game moot in the grand scheme of the industry.
Possible. We'll see. We'll see if there's any additional stuff. But, I mean, they've already admitted that they screwed up with this season too. So, they call it a botched rollout.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Whenever, just for my purposes, whenever I hear, oh yeah, pro players are complaining about blah, 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 I roll my eyes and think, just shut up.
Yeah, no, don't. It's not leading with pro players. It's not only pro players that are complaining about the problems with this.
Okay. And no, Blood Reaper, you're wrong. In video games, guns should jam. Far Cry 2 is the best Far Cry game. Still, to this date, because those guns can jam on you in the middle of a fight, and it's awful. You hate it, but in retrospect, it's so much fun. It's so cool to like be shooting and Oh no!
No, no! Oh my God, jammed!
Oh, it's so exciting.
Only you could be nostalgic about a gun jam.
No, there are other people like me. There are other weirdos like me.
Yeah, weirdos is true. Let's see. My next item is best video games of all time. Where is my thing right here? Let's see. In a Sony Bungie. Oh no, we'll do something else. This is for Andrew. We're still on the government's going after gaming and gaming peripheral companies. So yeah, there was a fine this week levied, $5.5 million that was levied against Nvidia by the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, because they failed to tell investors when directly asked how much crypto mining was affecting their sales. Or I should say, how much of the demand for their GPUs was being driven by crypto miners. And this was something that had happened, that investors, they wanted to know this. And why this mattered to them is because they knew that if the vast majority, if there was a significant impact in the sales of GPUs because of crypto miners, that ties the value of cryptocurrency to sales. And they wanted to know, hey, how much of this is being bought by these people who, may, if the bottom falls out of the cryptocurrency market, will it tank our GPU sales? Yeah. And they were being asked directly by Nvidia, or to Nvidia. They wanted to know about the demand of GPUs, wanting to know how much of it was driven by gamers, which are their target market and their stable market, and how much was this ostensibly unstable cryptocurrency. And according to Nvidia, they were saying, oh, no, it's not really significant. And and I know that was a big fat lie. According to the NCC, the way the Nvidia handled the whole thing was a violation of the SEC rules. Quote, the SEC's order also finds Nvidia's omissions of material information about the growth of its gaming business were misleading, given that Nvidia did make statements about how other parts of the company's business were driven by demand for crypto, creating the impression that the company's gaming business was not significantly affected by crypto mining. You know, and I know the GPU market was absolutely affected by cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Nvidia wanted to keep it quiet because they wanted to keep their stock market high. They did not want to answer that question for obvious reasons. So the SEC said that Nvidia knew crypto was driving the demand, but failed to say anything. And $5.5 million lawsuit. Now, realistically, it's a drop in the bucket. It's barely a slap on the wrist in the GPU, like in Nvidia, when it comes to how much money they made off of crypto miners buying and driving up the prices of the GPUs. But it's there. So ostensibly in the future, Nvidia will be disclosing how much of their GPUs are being purchased by crypto miners.
Yeah.
And the cryptocurrency market driving their profits.
They've come out with like a crypto specific card, right?
Yes, they have. But it doesn't, the fact they've brought a crypto specific card it's just broadened their, it's just made more cards for crypto miners to buy. It hasn't freed up any cards for actual gamers that want them for their gaming computers.
True.
So yeah, and it's not a small fine. It's not very big by their standards, but it's something. And then
I've got a fun one and a sad one.
Okay, go ahead.
With the fun one, so one of the IPs that Square Enix held on to as part of when they sold stuff is Babylon's Fall, which was a new game by Platinum, who generally makes good action games. This one, not so good. Got very poor reviews. Like it wasn't well received from
And
the
they kept
beginning.
that one. They kept this one.
They kept that one. And so according to Steam charts, on May 4th at midnight, there was one player who was playing Babylon's Fall. The concurrent player count dropped to just a single person, which props to that person. It is now over the course of 30 days, the player count is at 62, which is still not good, but it's also not one person playing. But I just like the idea of one person holding that Babylon's Fall torch. One person out there going, no, you know what?
There it is right there. Babylon Fall. One person.
Yep.
Oh, so bad. Right now, 14 people playing it. 24-hour peak of 61. So sad. Oh, God. I want to know that guy. Who was that guy?
Yeah, right? Right? That guy is infamous now. Right? AC Wraith says that player should get in-game items just for advertising.
Yes!
Put them
He
in the news.
He is the most... He is now the most famous Babylon Fall player of all
That's
time.
true.
That one guy.
The mysterious one man.
It's okay. Let's see. My next item is I have a couple of fun ones. Best video game of all time. Let's see if I can find words. Here we go. Guitar Hero, Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and also Ms. Pac-Man, Sid Meier's Civilization, and Dance Dance Revolution are the World Video Game Hall of Fame 2022 class of inductees. So this, if you're not aware, Video Game Hall of Fame it's called the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York, right up in AC Wraith's neck of the woods. So they've inducted those 5. Ms. Pac-Man, they said that it was more sophisticated enemies and mazes in comparison to the original Pac-Man. The Dance Dance Revolution, the museum said that was that game, and it is arguable, I don't think anyone would deny it, that it influenced an entire genre of games, including Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Civilization goes without saying. Sid Meier's Civilization was... It's been copied, repeated, copied by itself. In fact, it's ubiquitous. Legend of Zelda. They said that this game, this is the 1998 game, that defined the potential in 3D action games and has done so for generations to come. And it spotlighted its influence on developers even today. So I think that's a good solid. There's nothing there that I wouldn't agree deserves to go into the Hall of Fame, because these were game changers of game. Yeah, Legend of Zelda, Ms. Pac-Man, Civilization, Dance Dance Revolution. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe not Ms. Pac-Man being as influential on gaming, all gaming that came after it, but certainly the other 4 changed the way games were made. And then another sort of fun one, if you were looking for some games, speaking of Civilization and a lot of these other games, that some of which may end up being in the Hall of Fame of the future. Humble Bundle Spring Sale launched yesterday. Day before yesterday. Launched on Friday. A bunch of AAA games on sale. The first flash sale was Doom Eternal and Doom Eternal Deluxe, which were 67% off. I don't know what the flash sale is right now. But Civilization, 85% off. Borderlands 3, 75% off. Overcooked 2, 75% off. GTA Premium Online Editions, 50% off. Hitman 3 Deluxe Edition, 50% off. Hitman 3 non-deluxe edition, 50% off. No Man's Sky, 50% off. Red Dead Redemption 2, 50%. Persona 5 Strikers Deluxe, 50%, as well as just the non-deluxe version. And Yakuza Mastered Collection, which is Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 bundle, it's 10% off. So check that out. It's going until May 24th. And check, if you like hitting flash sales, you might want to check out flash sales as they come on every day or so. They have a new flash sale. So
yeah, I'm on the website now and I can't find what the flash sale is.
Yeah.
So maybe it ended.
Maybe they ran out. Who knows? Can't imagine they'd run out. Let me see. Let's see. Humble Bundle flash sale. Putting it up here. Where's the sale?
Yeah, they've got a spring sale link right there, but it didn't lead to any flash sale.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the flash sale. Oh, Satisfactory. Ooh. That's a game I'm afraid of because I know I will fall deep into that one. Let's see. Anything else that looks like I'm on Unpacking? Didn't you love that game?
I've not played it yet. I've wanted to.
Okay.
It's on Game Pass. So I've been meaning to jump onto there to get it.
Oh. Subnautica is 40% off.
Subnautica was good.
Yeah. Persona 5. Yeah, that's a great deal for Persona 5 Digital Deluxe Edition. I mean, for either one of them. Persona 5 is so good. The Persona 5 Strikers. RimWorld is now $31, but that's only 10% off. Not bad. Solasta. Oh, Solasta Crown of the Magister.
Oh, right. That was the
Dungeons and Dragons one.
Yeah, the D&D one.
60% off. Buying it.
Oh, jeez.
Subnautica Below Zero is 35% off.
I would have gotten that already, but it's on Game Pass.
The Civilization 4 Platinum Edition is 81% off. It's $15.
Oh, wait, that's Civilization 4. Isn't 6 out?
Sorry, 6. 6.
Oh, 5, 6. Okay.
Yeah,
Never
sorry.
mind then. That's actually pretty good.
That's really $15.19 for the Platinum Edition of that. That's really good. Platinum Arkham Collection is $9. Yeah, so you might want to jump in on this and see if there's something here that you might be interested in. 2 Point Hospital for $8. You could definitely get $8 for the fun out of it. Oh, look at House of Ashes is 34% off.
That was good. Oh, you know what? They came out with a new game. I was wrong. Remember when I talked about The Quarry? The Quarry.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new game by that same developer. I thought it was part of the Dark Pictures anthology, but it's not.
Oh, it isn't.
Yeah, it's just another one of their games. It's like the spiritual successor to Until Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, let's take one of those games and blow it out to like big budget game length. So that could be fun to play over stream for a couple nights.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm already, I could feel it happening. You know that feeling, the Steam sale? Like I just want to go through and see what's a good deal. But I'm totally getting Solasta. And yeah, that's all I got. Anybody says anything? Oh, there we go. There's The Quarry. Thank you for that. The Quarry game. AC Ray says he lives about 3 hours away from Rochester and rarely travels that far. Maybe you and I could come up, dye your hair purple or blue or whatever, and then we go to the video game museum. All right, so next item.
End on a downer.
We're not going to end. I've still got stuff. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
A PAX East enforcer, because PAX East happened just a couple weeks ago, and she has since died of COVID from the event.
God.
Apparently,
Do we have any numbers of how many people? Because it was.
I don't know how many people.
What was
there
the name
were.
of the company? It was one developer said that people at their booth tested positive after they
Oh, yes,
arrived.
right. That's right.
I can't remember the name of it.
But I guess on the PAXI's website, they said that people were required to show proof of vaccination and wear masks while attending the event. But a few days before it started, Boston dropped its mask mandate. So we kind of have no idea how that was enforced throughout the show. Apparently, when she came home, she was already sick. And then after a week, died from it. And apparently her sister, who was also at the event, got sick as well and is in the emergency room. So
Yeah,
that's rough.
PAX has responded. The enforcer's name was Dawn Wood. And they said, quote, Dawn was a beloved member of the enforcer community who first joined us in 2014. Oh, gosh, so she'd been an enforcer for a lot of years. And over the years, enforced in both the expo hall, supporting the exhibitors and attendees of the show, and in Enforcer Land, a department solely dedicated to supporting other enforcers. She was a warm and welcoming presence and someone who always took the time to help others. She loved PAX and gaming. She was a voracious reader and loved baking, crafting, and sharing her creations with others. Our community is devastated by her loss, and she will be sorely missed. There is a GoFundMe set up to help her with the funeral and memorial costs. As someone who has done this quite a few times recently, not a small chunk of change required to do that at all. So here is the GoFundMe site in case you're interested. They have met their goal, but it is it's titled "In Loving Memory of Dawn D. Star Wood," and that is her. What a shame.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking and
I wonder
preventable.
I wonder if this and the other known like cases being spread, if not deaths, still known infections, will have any effect on if PAX West happens.
I think so. I think that this absolutely will affect if PAX West happens. When you told me this, I reevaluated whether we should go to PAX West, even if they hold it. Because we did not go to PAX West last year because we're like, fuck no.
Yeah.
And I was
Especially
thinking
last year.
this year, maybe. Because they're holding PAX East, and now to see somebody who was fairly young, probably younger than I am, dying of somebody who was vaccinated, who was probably boosted, was certainly vaccinated up to the requirements of being an enforcer at
being
PAX.
a staff member, not
A
just
staff
an
member.
attendee.
Yeah, I'm seriously rethinking whether we should do PAX this year too. Because I love you guys and I want to keep doing this for another 13 years.
It makes me nervous because in the past, every time I've come back from PAX, I've had the PAX plague.
Once I gave it to you.
Every single time I came back.
I gave it to you, and I wasn't that sick, and you got way sicker than me.
Every single time. So, yeah, I know. My immune system is like paper. Not just like
You
an
can't
8 by
even
10
eat chicken without getting
not just
sick.
an 8x10 sheet of paper, but like the confetti paper.
Yeah, crepe paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like a human origami. AC Ray says, we forgive you if you donate to the fundraiser instead of the GameHounds attempt at the golden. Yes.
Yeah, true.
We forgive you. In fact, I would recommend doing that. And here is the link in case you are interested for the GoFundMe. But yeah, I would venture to guess, regardless of whether there is any change in whether PAX West happens, I can guarantee that there's a discussion happening, certainly within the enforcer community. Somebody that's been working for the place for a really long time, and 2014, was that before PAX East? That she may have been started with PAX West.
Maybe.
So, yeah, either way. She's obviously somebody who knows a lot of people. She's obviously well known within the enforcer community. I can guarantee you that that conversation's happening of whether they want to put their enforcers at risk. Because as much as at risk you are, the enforcers are way worse.
Oh, yeah.
And anybody in the beanbag chairs.
Yeah, don't touch the beanbags.
Don't touch the beanbag chairs. Do not touch the beanbag chairs at PAX.
Certainly
by the end of at the end of the event, because they're gross.
Okay, I can find a 2013 badge and 2015 badge
For PAX East?
for PAX, but I can't see if I attended one during 2014. I might have skipped that year.
Well, I've been to every year except 2 years ago. That was the first time I had not gone to a PAX. So I think that was the year that I went with just Steve with Piss Boy.
Okay, 14?
I think that might have been PAX East first year was 2010. So she may have been. Has it really been that long? God! Where the fuck does the time go?
Oh wait, here's 14. This is PAX Prime 14.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. My next item is. Do I have any more? Let's see. We talked about Square Enix. Talked about Halo Infinite. We talked about the Gilmo family. SEC, Sony, Microsoft's plans. Oh, I got the last one, and it is a fun one. So this is a good way to go out.
Good.
And I believe, was it AC Wraith that brought this up to us last week?
Oh no, this was a Blood Reaper.
It was Blood Reaper. Thank you. And yeah, we would have talked about it on the show, but it was going long anyway. This is the perfect week to talk about this. A person that appears to be a man, has modded, I don't know if it's modded or just hooked it up, but a Fisher Price laugh and learn game and learn controller into an Xbox controller, and it actually works, and he's played Elden Ring with this controller. And the thing is about this controller is it makes sounds every time you touch a button, just like everything Fisher Price. It's the most annoying thing ever. But he actually has done it, is doing it, and he's actually posting a lot of his gameplay to Twitter. So I'm going to pull up the Twitter so that you can see it. But this is, and the guy's name is Rudism, and he is a builder of bizarre controllers. And this is him.
To give you a rundown of how it all works.
Hold on a second. I need to turn off the thing. But
I'm also surprised at how many buttons are on that kid's controller.
Oh, yeah. And every single one of them makes a little noise every time you touch it. And some of them are longer than others. And it's like, oh, God. Oh. It's just annoying as hell. And it's... I don't know. Let's see if can I get I'm going to remove this real quick so that you can hear it. So that you can hear all of the standby. Stop screen. I have to actually add the screen by adding the audio as well, so we can share what the audio sounds like. His tutorial, he's talking through it, but it does not. It doesn't cover up anything when it comes to the. There we go. Share tab audio. It doesn't cover anything up as far as the actual sound of it. So let's see. That's on there. Can you hear it?
We've got roll. We've got usabilities. So A, B, X, and Y doesn't do too much on Elden Ring, but you can see that the menu changes there. We've got D-pad. So if you check on the bottom left of the screen, you'll see me switching through things.
Oh man, I hit down on that D-pad so many times.
Controller's going nuts. We've also got
the
bumpers up here, and they do.
Can you imagine playing Elden Ring with that?
Buttons and the trigger buttons. So light and heavy attack, and then you can do like abilities and stuff like that too. What else we got? Oh, clicking in the thumbstick, of course. So that still works. Now, I saw a lot of comments. Oh, 1 second. God, this thing's annoying. Okay.
I think that says it all. God, this thing's annoying. But he has, after posting that, he has continued to play Elden Ring with it and is showing it on his Twitch, his Twitter channel, his Twitter feed.
Good.
So, yeah, if you're interested in doing that, you can go to his Twitter. I'm going to put it back up here. It is Rudism. At Rudism, to follow him along in his exploits of using the Fisher-Price monstrosity to play Elden Ring.
That's I enjoy watching
I
those
couldn't do it
videos.
more than a couple of seconds. Really,
Yeah,
honestly.
I would not have put the same amount of time into Elden Ring that I have if I had to play with it.
Wow! Hi!
Having it sing,
Number 1! Pew 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 pew!
sing the numbers and sing the alphabet. Nah.
It kind of takes away from the mood, you know, of the game.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if I've got everything. I think I did. I've covered everything. Got the Humble Bundle, got Zelda, got Halo Infinite, got the shit shows, the NFT market's collapsing. Yep. Covered it all. And it's only 4:00. I love it when we do a short show. I know some of you love the 3-hour shows. Not a fan. I know a lot of you also are not fans of the 3-hour shows. So, do you want to play something tonight? I think that Chris wants to play tonight.
Maybe. I might not be able to play tonight, but I will say AC Wraith posted in the chat, I guess there's a new Doctor Who. And
Yes,
the guy
in
from
Kudigatwa.
Sex Education.
Yes.
I didn't know who that was, but he's the gay friend from Sex Education.
Yes. And I another excellent choice.
He's really good.
Yeah, I think that he'll make it fantastic.
Didn't know that
Doctor.
name, but when I saw his face, I thought, wait a minute. I
Yep.
know that person.
And
don't
Blood
know if
Reaper
I
says,
can-
I give people props for using different controllers to play video games.
Oh yeah. It's also fun if you can find like a video of someone playing Dark Souls on a DDR pad. That's fun.
I think I have some DDR pads. I know I've got, at a certain point, I had a pile of Guitar Hero controllers, a pile of them in the corner. And I think I sold/threw out a lot of them. But I still have Kevin's full, like, professional studio electronic drum kit. Full drum kit that he had wired up to play
Jupiter.
what was it? Band Hero? What's the one that was played? You could play drums with? Was it Band? No, it wasn't Band Hero. It was his band.
Rock Band.
Rock Band. Yes. I still have that in, and it's dismantled in the corner, but all you have to do is plug it in and plug it back into a Xbox 360, and it will play beautifully. So, anything else before we close out the show?
No.
All right. If you are listening to the podcast, I apologize that I have been slow in posting the podcast to Libsyn. That is not on Libsyn. That is on me. I keep forgetting. I now have Siri, who is my portable AC Wraith, to remind me to post the shows on Mondays, because inevitably I get done with work on Monday and then I just collapse and drink beer and go to sleep. So I've got a little notification now that when I get off work, it goes, hey, go post the podcast, because I'm a bit out of the habit. It's been 10 years since I've actually had to do that. So yeah, thank you for the listing for the directory. Thank you. So on that note, is anything else before we close out the show, Nick?
No.
Anything you want to
The
add?
controller guy also is saying like, hey, just because I can do this doesn't mean that the game necessarily has to be this hard. Should have accessibility, difficulty options. So, yeah.
And also, let's see. Oh, wanted to let you know that we will not have a show sometime in the near future. When are we going to be out of a show? Because Nick is going to New York.
Oh yeah, that would be the 5th.
I just got a text.
What?
I just got a text from Andrew. It just popped up. It says, Edie, your hair. Yes, my hair.
Oh, he followed it up. He says it looks great.
Thank you. But it's I'm not a fan of the purple. I think I'm going to go blue. Blue's already ordered. I got it a couple of days ago. I'm just waiting for this purple to fade, and then I'll throw the blue on top. So what day are we not going to have a show?
The 5th of June. What's next month? April, May, June.
Yeah, next month, the 5th of June. Yes, no podcast. So
it's Sunday.
A month.
First Sunday.
Yeah, the first Sunday of June. It's a month away. Well, how many weeks is that from now? It is
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3 weeks. So a month from now. But I do want to let you know in case that you come back later or whatever. So because I don't want anybody to go, oh yeah, Edie forgot to say something. On the 5th of June, we will have no podcast.
Well, now that we know Chaos is listening, Chaos, come back for a day. I know you're listening now. Work? You saw the hair. I know you're there.
Well, he wanted to hear about because I told him that I was going to mention how Nvidia got the beatdown from the SEC. It really wasn't a beatdown. It was more like a forehead flick is what it was.
It was something at least.
It was something. So anyway, on that note, let's close this out.
Okay.
You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 638. We recorded this on Sunday, May 8th, 2022. I've been Edie Sellers, and with me has been Nick DiNicola. If you ever want to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our website. Gamehounds@gmail.com is our email. We record the show live every Sunday, except for the 5th of June, at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. We record it with video at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids. GameHounds VIDS is in videos. You can just put it all together in one word and search for us. We are there. We would love to have you join us for the video stream. By the way, the video stream is 100% funded by our patrons. Patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask because it doesn't take much, but it does take something to put this video show together. So thank you to all of you who have done that. You're our heroes. If you listen to the show as a podcast, we are on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, a bunch of other Audible, Google Play. Look for us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And if you don't find us in a place that you normally look for podcasts, let me know. Be happy to put it up there for you. Thank you again, Nick, for being here. Have a great week. And note, the dogs know the closing. Because I don't know if you can see in the background. As soon as I say thank you for listening to the GameHounds, the dogs get up and they're ready to go out. They know it.
They know.
Have a great week, everyone.
Shepard is no longer on my lap.
He knows. He knows. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes. Audacity. Stop. Save. Turn off the music in my head. Cool. Yep. Dogs are like, as soon as I started, they get up and they're literally.
Oh, jeez. I like how is that Buddy?
That's Buddy.
Okay. I like how he stopped whatever he was doing and sat down like, oh, someone's watching.
No, he will just. I could talk to you like this for the next hour. Like I'm ignoring him right now. He knows I'm ignoring him. And then she's just going to torture him because she wants to go out. So yeah, need to go take the dogs for a walk.
Okay, it does still say we're live. Are we still live?
We are still live on the video show, not live in the audio show.
Okay.
So everybody in the chat room, let me impress upon you something right now that you're seeing it peripherally in the news. And then you have stories like today where one of our brethren who went to PAX, was an enforcer at PAX, died, and her sister is in intensive care. It is very much out there. We are due for our spring/summer surge. We have this. The summer surge usually really fucking takes off on Memorial Day. What's the one in May?
Is
that Labor Day? Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. It takes off in earnest on Labor Day. Labor Day is this month, later this month. Please, 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 please start wearing a mask. Even if it's not required by your locality, start washing your hands. Go back to all of the stuff that we have learned over the last 2 years, because it's very much still out there, very much still killing people, and we're about to have this summer surge that has happened the last 2 years at exactly this time. So don't listen to anybody else talking about politics. Just look at the numbers, look at the graphs. This is when the next surge starts, and this is when people start dying. So please don't let that happen to you. I love you all too much to lose you. Have a great week. We will talk to you the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.